Hello and welcome to Sports Scene Live. I'm Jeff Porsche and we are here at Fratelli's Italian Grill off Airline Highway in Prairieville in the Oak Grove Plaza Shopping Center. And this week we're going to talk to all three coaches once again. Guy Mistretta from Dutchtown High, David Oliver from Santa Ma, and from EA, Coach Darnell Lee. And we'll talk about Dutchtown and Santa Ma's win and talk about the loss to Catholic for East Ascension. We'll also have Players of the Week and Pete's Picks. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Bergeron's Boudin Cajun Meats is open for lunch Monday through Friday with a variety of specials. For tailgating, booster club trays, homecoming, and party trays, see Bergeron's Boudin Cajun Meats on Cabela's Parkway. Bertrand's Pharmacy has been providing personal medication counseling for over 30 years. Andy and Jeannie Bertrand, registered pharmacists, honor many prescription plans. Bertrand's is open Monday through Saturday. Phone 644-5641. The Player of the Week Award is proudly sponsored by Black Bayou Body Shop at 13308 Bourgeois Road in Gonzales. For all of your body needs, see Gerald Bourgeois for a free estimate. Call 647-6994. Bro Welding and Industrial Supply prides themselves on same-day delivery. Customer service is our #1 priority. They deliver on time, every time. Bro Company, serving the area for over 30 years. On the web at broco.com. Looking for a new restaurant to take the family and friends? Try Fratelli's Restaurant in Prairieville. They have specialty pizza, Italian seafood dishes, baked pasta, chicken dishes, subs, and steaks, and more. Make it to Fratelli's in Prairieville.
Welcome back to Sports Scene Live. Jeff Porsche with you. And we are joined now by Coach Guy Mistretta, head coach at Dutchtown High School, 45-8, the big win over Woodlawn this week, and thanks for joining us again.
Thanks for having us, Jeff.
All right, and 6-0, how does it feel to be undefeated going into the big part of your schedule?
Yeah, just really pleased the way we've progressed as the season's going on up to this point. And you're right, we're at the meat of the schedule now with EA coming up next week, so it's an exciting time.
Yeah, and we can talk about the game this week before we go into some of those games coming up, and another impressive performance, almost mistake-free ball, good ground control, special teams, defense, everybody doing the job once again.
Yeah, I thought our offensive line in particular really controlled the line of scrimmage and did a great job for us. Defensively, we made some big stops at the right time and really played well. Like you said, it was team effort across the board.
Yeah, and we can start on offense. You had the combo that you always have with Sampson and Lewis, and Sampson had the touchdowns and the big plays, and Lewis just consistently steady like he always does. It's a great combo to have both those types of running backs in the same backfield.
Yeah, kind of that lightning and thunder deal, you know. Sampson's more of a slasher and speed guy, and Lewis is the pounder. Both of them got in the end zone for us and really controlled it. I think one thing that you've seen the last couple of weeks is Braden Fritchie, our quarterback, has gotten more involved in the running game, which is helping keep a little bit of the action off of those two.
Right, and they ran the ball well, and Fritchie had a good game again. He didn't have to throw the ball because he had the big lead early, but he did have that first quarter completion for a touchdown to Donald Howard. So, more touchdowns through the air.
Yeah, and that's something that we continue to work on, that passing game, and we're getting better and better, and it's not always showing yet on Friday nights. Hopefully it will soon, and we've still got a lot of football to play.
So first quarter, you had the 30-minute delay because of the weather, and then you went out there and they had the ball first and you stopped them, and then you went out there and got 2 quick touchdowns, made it 14-0 very early in the game. How does that help you out? How important was that to get on them early?
Yeah, well, first of all, with the delay, I was really proud of the guys and how they handled that situation. We got there, as soon as we got off the bus, there was a lightning strike.
Yeah.
And over an hour later, we're still sitting in the gym. So it takes a little maturity, it takes some senior leadership to get you through that. So I was really pleased there. And then to be able to come out and ready to go and jump on them, like you said, 2 quick touchdowns. When they did stop us finally, we had to punt, our only punt of the night there right early in the second quarter. But we followed that up with 2 big defensive plays to help us get back into the end zone. So really pleased overall.
Yeah, and I had noticed it the first time Woodlawn punted the ball that, they had that rainbow snap real slow getting to the punter, and I was thinking right there, if they do that all night, the Dutchtown's going to get one of them. And then as you talked about in the second quarter, you did get one of them, and that kind of changed the momentum of the game.
Yeah, Jaron Blakes had a big block punt there, and then a sophomore Tanner Vadnais with the recovery. So that was great. We also had a big return from Logan Scott once again. The last 2 weeks he's returned punts for a touchdown, and this week he had a big 30-35 yarder.
Yeah.
So.
He almost got another interception, kind of a little high, went off his face mask one time, but the one who did get the interception, that was, I believe, the drive right after the block punt. That was Jala, and again, another backbreaker and another chance for you to, get on that lead and kind of end that game early.
Yeah, Jamel's a heck of a defensive player. He's the leader on that side of the ball, and a really good football player. We're looking for big things for him as we move forward, and he's got a bright future.
Yeah, and he just keeps getting better and better. And, I want to talk about all the aspects of the game because, just consistent on all parts of the ball. And you talked about special teams with the returns and the block punts, and then you had another field goal this week from Powron, and, he's having a good season as well.
Yeah, Powron's solid. You can know exactly what you're going to get when you put him out there. He was 7 for 7 on PATs and had I guess it was about a 40-yard field goal, so right down the middle. So really happy with him. All of our kickers, Sosa and Donnelly as well with the kickoffs. They were able to early on pin them deep, and then once we got the lead, just hitting some nice little sky kicks and trying to keep them at bay.
Exactly, and it was a great job. And you had your shot at a third shutout this season, and then about 4 minutes left in the game, with the backups in, they completed a long pass downfield, gave up the touchdown, and so you lost your shot at a shutout, still under 10 points. So 5 out of 6 games under 10 points. But did that concern you at all? Did that kind of disappoint anybody that you didn't get the shutout?
Disappointed the senior starters on the defensive side of the ball. Those guys take pride in that, and they're itching at us, tugging on our shirts, wanting to go back in late in the game. And but that's not what it's about. We need to get those young guys in there and get them time and get them ready for the future.
Yeah, and the future. We're talking about the future of this season, and you're 6-0, and you haven't had a lot of close games. Your team's been very dominant, very impressive, and now you get to the stretch where 3 out of those 4 games are going to be tough, where you're coming up this week against East Ascension, then you get a little break with McKinley, and then you get Santa Ma, who's coming on strong, and then you finish with Catholic, and Catholic's just Catholic. How do you feel about your team going into that stretch?
I think we're excited about it. We're going to be challenged. I'm interested to see how we handle that situation. As far as absolute 48-minute ball games, which we haven't had yet this year, handling adversity, because we'll be faced with it. Certainly. We have been up until this point. There'll be more of it coming in the near future. So that's when it's really exciting, and you get to really see what you're made of and what you're all about. So it certainly starts this week with a big physical, athletic EA team.
Yeah, and this is the biggest team that you face maybe this year, with the exception of Catholic, and they've got athletes on both sides of the ball. And what are you telling your team about facing a much bigger, much stronger competition this week?
I think the kids understand what's in front of them. My big message to them is we don't really change what we do, besides the game plan. But as far as how we prepare, we keep it the same as we always do. But there should be a sense of urgency about you in a ball game like this, and that's what we expect. We've got a couple of days off of school, Monday and Tuesday, so we'll be practicing early in the morning and kind of gearing all toward football from the time you wake up, which is
Yeah.
it's kind of fun. You know, that it kind of reminds you of the quarterfinal week during the Thanksgiving holidays, where it's
Yeah.
all football and you get to really focus in. So looking forward to that this week.
Okay. How do you keep your kids from getting kind of overconfident? Because East Ascension is supposed to be the best team in the parish preseason. That's what a lot of people thought. Now you're 6-0, they're 4-2. Now 4-2, they lost to two incredible teams.
That's right.
But you know, how do you keep your kids from getting overconfident, thinking, "Oh, we got this, and look at our records," kind of thing?
It's real simple. You just show them film of EA. You know,
Yeah.
they jump out on the film. Again, their size and their athletic ability. There's no one not taking this serious and preparing well this week.
Yeah, and the guy that you're looking at for East Ascension, we talked about him earlier before the interview, and that's Stephen McBride, the big wide receiver, and he's one of the best wide receivers in the state of Louisiana, and he's going to get his yards. What do you do? What's your game plan for something like that, knowing that this guy is going to be difficult to stop all night?
He's a really special athlete. You know, he's very athletic. He's big. He's tall, but he's tough. He runs well. So we'll have to have a couple of different plans for him, and hopefully come up with one that works.
Yeah, and you know, I know you don't like to look ahead, but if you can win this game next week, you're looking at potentially 8-0 going into Santa Ma. Do you look ahead? I mean, do you just worried about this week?
Yeah, it's the same. Every week is all the same. You prepare for Friday night. You don't look anywhere else, and that's where we are this week.
Yeah.
It would be foolish not to put all of our energy into preparing for EA.
And we were looking at the power rankings before the game too, and in like 2 weeks you've moved from about 23 to 6. And you know, you said it's too early to look at that. Do y'all peek at that ever or anything like that?
We really don't. It has no effect on this week. It has no effect on winning
Right.
or losing this week, and that's the only thing that eventually affects the power rankings.
Yeah.
So why even worry about them until you get into that last week of the season?
That's a good way to look at it for sure. But you know, you're having a great season, and congratulations. I know everybody's excited at Dutchtown, but now comes the hard part,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. We're excited about it.
Well, we wish you luck this week, and
Thank you.
thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you, Jeff.
Guy Mistretta from Dutchtown High School with the win over Woodlawn, and we'll be back in a moment. But first, let's take a look at the players of the week.
We're here today at Dutchtown High School to present our Player of the Week award. And our corporate sponsor for the Offensive Player of the Week is Galvez Seafood, and our plaque sponsor is Harvest Soup Supermarket. Well, this week, Braden Fritchie receives the award, and you scored a couple of touchdowns. You ran in for a couple of touchdowns, and tell us a little bit more about the game.
Well, first half, you know, we came out a little soft and weren't playing to our potential, and we made a couple mistakes. I made a couple mistakes, and then Coach came talk to me at half. He was just telling me to shake it off, you know, move on, and I knew coming out at half I had to make something happen.
Oh, that's a lot of the coaches' philosophies to get ahead early in the game.
Yes, sir. Yeah, well, you know, we had that going in, but it was just a long bus ride. You know, we were kind of tired, and you know, we didn't really prepare for the game as good as we could. But you know, second half we knew that we were the much better team, and we had to come out and do what we knew we could do.
Right. And of course, our defensive player of the week now, our corporate sponsor is Santa Ma Muffler, and our plaque sponsor is Bayou Fit Nutrition. Chris Washington receives the award this week. Well, you're 5-0. You must be doing something right.
Yes, sir. At the beginning of the game, our defense came out. We kind of underestimated our opponent at first, and so in the second half, we stepped it up and came up with the victory.
Never do that. You learn that quick, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, congratulations to both of you, our players of the week from Dutchtown.
Brubacher's Grill at 909 East Ascension Street in Gonzales, where good food and good friends come together. Offering a casual, fun atmosphere with a menu selection to satisfy the whole family. From pizzas, burgers, and po' boys to steaks, seafood, and salads with daily lunch specials and a whole lot more. Bring the whole family or meet friends on the deck. There's fun and entertainment for all. Make Brubacher's your next stop for lunch or dinner and check out the other 5 locations in Baton Rouge. Taste a great tradition at Brubacher's Grill, where some things only get better.
Bruyette's Automotive Paint and Body are collision repair specialists. Their certified trained technicians offer state-of-the-art repair. They offer free estimates and all insurance claims are welcome. Bruyette's Automotive Paint and Body. Church Funeral Services offers a compassionate, affordable funeral with the funeral held in your own home or house of worship. We are here in your time of need. Church Funeral Services, Santa Ma, Walker, and Baton Rouge.
First American Bank is now open in Dutchtown on Highway 73, just 1/2 mile south from I-10. Customer friendly with the personal service Dutchtown expects. Let First American Bank take you where you want to go. And now, open in Dutchtown.
Robert, Chris, and Lindsay Fauché of the Fauché Law Firm wish all area teams good luck in their quest for a state championship. Remember the Fauché Law Firm for all of your legal questions and need. The Fauché Law Firm in Laplace. L. Ray Cokie Service Incorporated is headquarters in Ascension Parish for quality building materials, lumber, and ready-mix concrete. Good luck, Ascension Catholic Bulldogs and Donaldsonville Tigers from L. Ray Cokie Service. Papa John supports local athletics. Remember, their pizza is the best because they have better ingredients. That makes their pizza better. That's Papa John's in Gonzales, 644-7272.
Welcome back to Sports Scene Live. Live today from Fratelli's Italian Grill on Airline Highway in Prairieville. Great place for pizza. I just had some pizza earlier. It was delicious. Pasta, all the good stuff, Italian food that you would like. Now we have a team that really looked very impressive this week. Santa Ma head coach David Oliver, welcome.
Welcome.
All right, and 44-7 against McKinley. So you improve your record to 4-2. You know, and a couple of weeks ago you're at 500. You know, you don't know where you're going, and all of a sudden you got 2 big wins, and now you're looking good.
Actually won 3 in a row. We were 1-2 at one point, and didn't finish 2 of our first 3 games. So we're doing a lot better job of that. It was really a first half game. I was excited about how our team showed some maturity and leadership. You know, we had about an hour lightning delay at the beginning of the game, and I thought they handled that well.
Yeah.
And our field people, I got to thank them. With the rain and all the stuff that went on, that thing held up great. So Jeff Parent and Colin Yamarino and Dirk and the Ascension Parish group do a great job. And so it was ready to go. And we really came out fast. We went 3 plays and about 75 yards on the first drive. We had a long pass to Austin Bascom and a touchdown run right after that, and went up quick, and then we 3 and outed them and scored again quick, and then we got an interception return. So about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes into the game, it was 22-0, and we finished the first half in a great fashion. It was 37-0 at halftime, and in the second half we came out with the running clock and actually finished around the same time we would have finished had it been a normal game. We only got 2 possessions in the second half, but that's valuable time because we were able to put our younger kids in, our JV guys, and you can't substitute that Friday night experience. So it was positive for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, and last week you had the Lutcher game where Lutcher came out and they were looking good early. They had that lead, and then you come back to with a strong second half to win the game. This week it's more like the Sophie B. Wright game where you just jump on them right away and kind of take the life out of them before the game even gets out of the first quarter.
Yeah, and I thought our offensive line did a good job. They do have some talented guys on the defensive side of the football, especially the number 40. He plays both ways. I thought he got worn down, but he's one of the best pass rushers in our league, and he's going to La Tech. So, I thought our tackles did a pretty good job of handling him and what he brought to the defensive front. Defensively, I think we're just really in all phases, but especially on defense where, we're starting 8 guys that are juniors or younger. I really think those guys are really starting to grow and start competing as a unit and really getting good. So I can see how the future is very bright on the defense. We went through some growing pains early in the year, especially with our front line people. And, we're having trouble with, active mobile quarterbacks. And, we've really gotten just incrementally better each week. And, coming into the season, that's what we said, our offensive backfield there's no seniors in the quarterback or running back groups. And so what we said is one of our team goals, you always set those goals, is to every time you are in a football related activity, whether that's watching film, lifting weights, or a practice or a game, that you end better than you started. And I think we're starting to do that. I see constant improvement. I'm excited as we move further in the district.
Right. And I had seen and covered the Wright game that we were talking about earlier, and I think one big difference, and you talk about the maturity of your team, was in that game they gave up a couple of touchdown drives against Sophie B. Wright. This week, I believe, after reading the write-up about the game, you gave up 2 first downs and about 50 yards of offense. Their only points came off a turnover with a short field. Defense probably had their best game of the season.
Yeah, against our JV guys. Our JV guys went in and fumbled, but like I said, everyone gets worked up about that, but there's no other way to get those guys the experience than to go into a Friday night game and the lights and the weather and all that in front of the fans and do it. So you're going to make some mistakes, but if they don't learn to make them Friday, they won't learn how to make big plays on Friday either. But, so I wasn't really disappointed in that at all. I think, Reese Nelson coming back, we're starting to get healthy. For whatever reason, I don't know if we went too hard in training camp or whatever. We had some freak accidents, injuries, and we're starting to get all those guys back. Reese Nelson has been a huge part of that with his health and the explosiveness he brings to our defensive front. He's a little different guy. He's a quick guy, kind of a slasher, hit the gaps kind of guy. His brother was also a tremendous football player for us, a running back. So him coming back has made a huge difference in the intensity of that pass rush. And that pressure is a big part of applying pressure is a big part of defensive football. So the secondary starting to play well. The safeties are good. The linebacker core is another group where we don't have a senior in that bunch right now. And so as they continue to play and log Friday night minutes and get in big situations, I think you're going to see us, get seasoned and leathered up and start improving again, So that's our goal, is to keep getting better.
Yeah, and the offense just solid. I mean, the offense has been very impressive all year, and that combo of Zephyr and Poirier just clicking right now. And you talk about Bascom making big catches, and the offense is just doing a great job. And that two-headed quarterback system is working perfectly, it seems like, so far.
That was our plan going in, and there's to see if one of them would separate from the other one, and they're both bring something a little different. They're both playing well. They both have 6 touchdowns, and the only interception we threw was on a 4th down play at the end of the Denham Springs game, and where you don't want to get tackled with the ball. So we've been making good decisions. We're throwing the ball a lot better than I thought we were going to preseason. I was really kind of concerned about that. But, Javen Aguilar, that one receiver spot, is up around 30 receptions, about 500 yards. Austin's about 30 receptions, 500 yards. And then we got a nice third option, which is the Storks kid. And, he's probably 250 and 15. And then our running backs chip in. But none of that happens without the O-line giving us time to protect, and they've really kind of grown. Coach Todd came in late last year and started improving that group. And last year was a weird year. Anytime you got something new, it's a transition. But the offensive line have really taken his teaching, and I think they might even be a little better pass blocking than they are run blocking, which is kind of unusual for us, but it's not a bad problem to have.
No, and we haven't talked about that because we've always been impressed with the 2 quarterbacks and Sims having a great season, but that offensive line doesn't get enough credit. Offensive linemen never get enough credit, it seems like.
Yeah, and then like I said, the health thing, we've been missing Lathan Vaughn, and he'll be back this next week.
Yeah.
He's the rotational piece with Reggie Sims, and Reggie's played extremely well. He's got 10 touchdowns. Didn't have any the other night, but a lot of the other guys chipped in. So I'm pleased with where we're at, and I'm looking forward to district. We got Woodlawn this week. Fall break's always a challenge to get the team in here and keep them focused over the days where we don't have school on Monday and Tuesday. So hopefully we'll have a smooth week with that. We are have a Thursday function when we're inducting the first inaugural class into the Santa Maria Hall of Fame. So I'd like to mention that. Tickets are on sale to the public for $50, and it's a huge class. You know, you got some pro athletes. It's really just the best of the best, and it's we got a total of 11 nominees. We got some contributors, some coaches, some former greats like Ben Sheets, Jason Gary, Leah Heinz, Jason Williams. This neat story. He went into the LSU Hall of Fame last Friday, and he's going into Santa Maria this Thursday. So big week for him. So if you have a chance, come check that out Thursday night, and then come see us at Woodlawn Friday night. I
remember a lot of those names from LSU and elsewhere, Major League Baseball, all that. And you talk about the game coming up this week against Woodlawn. First thing, before you talk about that, the one advantage of having that big win and the running clock and bringing in kind of the JV players is you don't have to risk injury in the second half of any of these games. And it sounds like you're talking about with Vaughn and some of these other guys getting healthy. That's really important. Your team's getting healthier, right?
Yeah, I feel like we're in pretty good shape right now. Early in the year, going into the first two or three games, we were really struggling with injuries, and a lot of those have resolved themselves. A receiver that we were real high on in fall camp, Remy Rizzuto, who broke his collarbone and needed surgery with pins and screws and wrenches and everything. It looked like he's up in there, but he's worked extremely hard, and he got cleared and actually came in the game and caught a pass, and
that's good.
Shoulder held up against a pretty decent hit. So he's going to be a guy that you'll see getting integrated into the lineup as we go. But our health is good. We're as fresh as we've been. So we're, like I say, we're getting ready for that stretch run. We got Woodlawn, which we're certainly not overlooking, and then our last three games all have significant challenges to them with Catholic High, and then obviously our two Ascension Parish schools, that East Ascension and Dutchtown, which all will add a huge challenge to us. So hopefully we can keep some momentum going into that last stretch. And
those are tough games for sure, and you have the last three games are the hard ones. Just a quick mention of Woodlawn. I covered them this week against Dutchtown, and they're just struggling. They got a new coach, Marcus Randall, who's a good coach, and he can turn it around maybe in a year or two. But he's got a lot of freshmen. He's got a freshman quarterback. They're very young, very raw, very inexperienced, and they've been struggling this year. And what do you expect from them coming up this week? Well, that's what our big challenge is, to make sure they don't find their groove against us. You know what I mean? We got to make sure that we continue to play, and like I said, it's about leaving the football field better than we were when we got on it. So, some of that is playing to your level of execution, not theirs. And, Coach Randall's, he's had some success. He's going to do a good job. And, I know they're going to play hard. And, they've played a difficult schedule up to this point. So, they're getting battle tested, which will help them at some point in the future. Let's just hope it's not Friday night. Yeah, and, looking to get to 5-2 and, secure a 500 record. We wish you luck this week. Thanks a lot for joining us. All right, we have David Oliver from Santa Maria High School with the big win this week against McKinley, taking on Woodlawn this Friday, and we'll be right back. But first, let's take a look at the Coaches' Players of the Week.
We're here at Santa Maria High School to present our Players of the Week award. And one of our players, the Defensive Player of the Week, is not here today. Our plaque sponsor is Tiger Honda, and our corporate sponsor is Santa Maria Muffler. McCade Fontenot wins the award this week. Unfortunately, he's not here to receive his plaque today, but Coach O will present it to him. And then now we have our Offensive Player of the Week. Our corporate sponsor is Santa Maria Muffler, and our plaque sponsor is DeLone Supermarket. Austin Bascom receives the honors this week, and you made it a pretty interesting game the other night, scoring in the third quarter, I know, and tell us about some of the other good things that happened in the game.
It was really just a good practice week. Our team really started coming together. Quarterbacks were making good throws, line was holding up, running backs were running the ball hard, opening up some passing lanes. So really wasn't much I did. I was just giving the ball, and I made some things happen with the opportunity.
Well, you have district starting this week, a whole new season, as the coaches put it. Do you have any different plans going into district play?
Nope, we are who we are, and we're going to stick to it, and we're gonna go out and win games.
All right. Well, McKinley hasn't given you too much trouble in the past, but I hope the team's not taking them lightly.
No, definitely not. We're preparing just like we would any other team.
All right, well, good luck and congratulations on being Player of the Week.
Marchand's Interior and Hardware Specialist. You've got it made.
Come into our showroom and let our experts guide you through our large selection of today's latest trends. Marchand's flooring and countertop collections offer these styles with unbelievable prices. And at Marchand's, we install it all. Come in to see all of the promotions and specials going on now.
With Marchand's Interior and Hardware Specialist, you've got it made.
You know Acadian Custom Cabinets is your one-stop source for all of your cabinet needs. Now Acadian Custom Millworks offers cabinets, doors, windows, as well as shutters. Call 622-6337. Hebert's Cajun Meats in Walker specializes in hand-cut, hand-mixed, and hand-served foods. They offer hot, fresh, and frozen Cajun meats. Friday night is steak night. To get ready for the game, and find them at Hebert'sCajunMeats.com. Hebert Steel Incorporated, Gonzales and Baton Rouge, offers structural steel fabrication. Hebert Steel is a proud supporter of all high school sports in this area. Phone 644-5316 or 291-2144. See Foti Financial Services for all your money needs. They have loans for any worthwhile purpose: auto, furniture, appliance, home improvement, and vacation loans. Celebrating over 50 years of service, Foti Financial Services. Meds are important. Get that special fill when you arrive at Prairieville Pharmacy. You'll enjoy personal service with that special touch. It just makes you feel welcome and well taken care of every time you visit Prairieville Pharmacy.
Welcome back to Sports Scene Live. Jeff Porsche at Fratelli's Italian Grill in the Oak Grove Plaza here in Prairieville off of Airline Highway. Italian food, great wine, great food. Come check them out. And now we're going to check out what's going on with East Ascension High School. And they're coming off a loss this week to Catholic High. Coach Darnell Lee, thanks a lot for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right. And, you had a loss here, 41-6 final score. But it's kind of a lot like last year's game because it was a close game for a while, had some chances to come back and make it a game, and then fourth quarter they kind of pull away, and it looks more lopsided than maybe it looked in real life.
Yeah, it is what it is. We knew coming in we had to battle that storm early because they get out there early. They come out with a couple of trick plays, and I felt like we did that. And at one point it was 13-0. We scored 13-6, and then they put another one on us 20-6 late in the third, and we kind of fell apart. The wheels fell off the wagon. They're a great ball club. Coach Fertitta does a great job with them.
Yeah.
We just we thought we felt good going into the game. Got some guys back from injury somewhat. Javen Carter, we worked him in slowly. Gavin Sanier came back and played right tackle for us. He did a good job for us down the stretch, and I think the highlight of the night was probably Ethan Bagwell's punt. I think he averaged like 45 yards a punt.
Yeah.
Flipped the field for us real well.
And just had some bad luck, I guess, too, because you were talking about how you had chances.
Yeah.
There were some opportunities to get it within one possession going to the fourth quarter, but things just didn't seem to work out.
Yeah, and you take your hat off to Catholic High. I mean, they're a phenomenal team. They're ranked in the region, and they're undefeated. They're battle tested, and I feel like this will make us better down the stretch.
Yeah, that schedule is just a killer schedule, and you look at the record, and they're 4-2, but I mean, you lose to Houghton, they're a top 10 team. Catholic might be one of the best teams in the state, and you got some really good wins in there too. So when it might be deceptive because when you go into a game next week in Dutchtown 6-0, you're 4-2. That doesn't really tell the whole story, does it?
No. I mean, I know we've seen film on Dutchtown, and I know it wouldn't be long before Coach Mistretta got him rolling. He's got a great staff over there, and they have some talent. We see them clicking. That offense is getting better every week. Defense is flying around. They're holding opponents almost scoreless. And so we're looking forward to a great game this week. We're coming off a loss, and we're going to have our kids ready to play. We
interviewed Coach Mistretta before we got to you, and when he was talking about the team, and he was saying, their big athletic team, maybe the biggest team they're going to face all year, and had a lot of good words to say about McBride. And McBride had another big game, even though you had the loss this week. He's just keeps on rolling.
Yeah, he's a machine. Steve's just playing like a man on a mission. Anytime you dial him up, whether it's a screen or a deep ball, he's going to sell his body out to make the play.
Yeah. I know when we covered the game a couple weeks ago against St. Charles Catholic, you had held out Jones a little bit and played Grayson because you were trying to keep him healthy, and he played most of the game Friday night. Did he come out all right?
He's that knee's still bothering his right ankle.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a little banged up, but Catholic High did a great job against us. Like I said, we didn't play out. We didn't have our best offensive performance.
Mm-hmm.
Kendall Washington, I think he left the game early with an ankle and knee injury.
Yeah.
Minor should be good to go next week. Other than that, health-wise, we should be all right. But you got to take my hat off to Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
They played a role in our lack of success.
Yeah, and the fortunate thing is they play in the select group, so you're not going to be playing them in the postseason. And you played Houghton and you had that road game, but really, I mean, it's not a problem to lose to Catholic. I mean, they're a good team, and and you keep talking about that schedule, and now you get to that Dutchtown game, and when you compare those schedules, and like I said, Dutchtown hadn't played the competition that you guys have played. They've had some teams that have been struggling this year, and you run the gauntlet this year. How is that going to help you out this week?
Well, we hope it'll help us because like I said, being battle tested was one of the reasons I made that schedule the way I did.
Yep.
And and it doesn't matter if Catholic select or non-select. I feel like the Spartans should always compete.
Yeah.
And I feel like we competed for 3 quarters. Last year we competed for 2. I want us to compete for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Our kids work hard all week, and I hate to see that go to waste. We got Dutchtown coming up, and I feel like this schedule has prepared us for them. And I think anybody we play from here on out, you played mobile quarterbacks in Zachary and teams that have won state championships, and Division I players across the board, and we competed. That's the biggest disappointment about last week, but this is a rivalry game. Our kids are going to be up for it. A lot of relatives in Dutchtown, so it's going to be a fun week for us.
Yeah.
But we're just looking to get back on the winning track.
Yeah, somebody from Dutchtown teach on the faculty there. There's a lot of people who've taught both at East Ascension and Dutchtown, so there's a lot of familiarity, and there's a lot of hate, but there's also a lot of love on both sides.
Oh yeah. Had Dutchtown been open when I was in high school, I'd have been at Dutchtown.
Right.
I'm from Geismar. All my family lives in Geismar.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, kind of like the EA Santa Maria rivalry. Not quite as big.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a fun week.
Yeah, and when you look at Dutchtown, and of course I've covered them. I got them last week against Woodlawn, and when you face them, they're kind of a old-fashioned run the ball some more. Big offensive line, playing good fundamental ball.
That's right.
Defense not giving up a lot of points. Special teams, block kicks, punt returns. What are you looking for out of them besides some of the stuff you've already talked about?
I mean, you just said it all. I mean, Coach Mastretta being the guy he is and the way he runs his organization, his teams, you can expect him to be sound in all facets of the game. So, I feel like special teams where we are, we've been improving every week. Defensively, we've given up some points, but we've also had some key stops, and we've had games where we held teams like St. Charles to 6 points. But then again, you play against the Zacharys of the world and you give up points, so it tests your fortitude.
Yeah.
We offensively we put up numbers, and as of late we've been a little slow. I feel like we need to start fast.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to start fast offensively. Get our running game going. We have the guys on the perimeter that can make plays, and Steve McBride, Jaron Johnson, Novell Chopin, and you'll see Hobart Grayson at receiver this week.
Yeah.
So we got to open it up. This is not the time to be conservative.
Right.
It's not the time to panic. But in my book, it's a time for our kids to start having fun.
Yeah, and if you can get that early lead on Dutchtown, they haven't faced much adversity all season. They've been jumping out to early, quick leads, they haven't had to throw the ball much, so we don't know what kind of passing game they're going to have. So it's really important, especially against a team like Dutchtown, to jump on them early, maybe get them out of their element, and have to throw the ball, which they haven't done a lot of.
Yeah, and if you can make anybody one-dimensional, I mean, that'll hurt them, and that's pretty much what's been happening to us. Teams have been stacking the box and stop the run and forcing us to pass it, but we're blessed enough to have the guys that can make plays in the passing game. So we like to play a complete game where the run game and the passing game is all intact, and just have some success offensively and try to do a little bit better job of stopping people defensively.
Yeah, and you have fall break, and both of the coaches have been talking about fall break. What do you plan to do Monday and Tuesday to get these guys ready for the game, since it's kind of a different rhythm this week?
We always try to keep the normalcy. We have them report the same time they report for school. We start at 7:30, so there's no change. And we get our practices in early, so if they have anything planned with their families in the afternoons, they can still do that.
Yeah.
So that's what we do on the days when we don't have school. We come in the mornings, and if it's an afternoon deal, like we have PLCs or what do you call it?
Right.
Staff development days.
Yeah.
We'll have the kids show up at 2:30 as if school's just let out. So try to keep the normalcy.
That's good. You haven't had a break all season. Just tough opponent after tough opponent. After you get Dutchtown, you kind of have the lull where you get Woodlawn and McKinley. Are you looking at that as like a situation where if you can beat Dutchtown, you might get a couple of easier games down the road?
Never. We never overlook anybody. Anything can happen. We see teams and they're not doing as well, and then they may have some guys out like us. We had guys out. This past week was the first time Gavin Sagne played this year.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're doing well and you're playing against somebody who hadn't, and they're looking at every week as an opportunity to get it rolling. So we can't overlook anybody. And ranking wise, maybe that is. They are lesser opponents, but we're going to approach everybody the same.
All right. Well, Coach Lee, thanks a lot. And we're going to be on opposite ends of the spectrum this week. But
yes, sir.
But I wish y'all luck, and wish y'all luck every week except for maybe this one. But I just hope for a good game, injury-free, and a good time. All right, so Coach Darnell Lee from East Ascension High. We're going to be right back, but first let's take a look at the Players of the Week.
We are here at East Ascension High School to present our Players of the Week Award. And our corporate sponsor is Galvez Seafood Company. Our plaque sponsor is Black Bayou Body Shop. Hobart Grayson, the fourth, receives the award this week. Well, you had a good game, scored a touchdown, and had a pretty good passing game, too.
Yeah, I wouldn't, if it wasn't for my line and my receivers just being in the right spots and the line holding up the blocks when they needed to, then it would never happen.
What's it going to take to beat Catholic this week?
Just staying disciplined. We just need to do what we do in practice, make sure that we focus on everything, make sure everybody's in the right spots, and we should beat them.
All right. And now for our Defensive Player of the Week. Our corporate sponsor is Sanama Muffler, and our plaque sponsor is Pot and Paddle Jambalaya Kitchen. Marcellus Taylor receives the award this week. And tell us a little bit about your philosophy about Catholic and what the defense is going to have to do to beat a quality team like that.
Yes, sir. This week we just have to stay focused and play physical and stay focused.
All right. Did Coach have any different playbook plans for this week?
No, sir. Just the same thing. Just play physical and do our job.
Just keep doing what you're doing, right? Yes, all right. Congratulations, our Players of the Week for East Ascension. Welcome to Premier Lanes Entertainment Center. Have the ultimate birthday party and have it catered. Book your private party in the Ascension Zone. Bring the whole family for fun and games at Action Alley Arcade. Enjoy Spin Zone bumper cars and laser maze. Visit the famous Ball Wall Cafe, including our Slammin' Ball Wall Pizza. Ask about the upcoming League Bowling. Premier Lanes Entertainment Center, 1414 Airline Highway, Gonzales. Book your party now. Call 621-BOWL. Selling your home? Rick Gotro with Realty Executives in Prairieville can do a comparative market analysis to properly value your home before it goes on the market. Call Ricky today, 715-7256. Are your brakes squeaking? Is your car sputtering? Take it to Rossi Automotive. Their computer diagnostic test will locate the problem, and they'll do the necessary repairs and get you back on the road at Rossi Automotive. Sanoma Muffler and Brake has been serving the Sanoma area for many years doing exhaust work, brake, tune-ups, air conditioning, and general auto repair. Call Sanoma Muffler for all of your repair needs. 644-2564. Suit yourself at Squires Formal Wear. They have everything for homecomings, proms, or any other occasion. Get a free groom's formal with the purchase of 6 rentals. Ask about limo rentals too. Squires Formal Wear, Gonzales.
Welcome back to Sports Scene Live. Jeff Porsche with you from Fratelli's Italian Grill off Airline Highway in Prairieville, joined now by Peter Pasqua. Welcome.
Yes, sir.
And Pete's picks last week, 9-1, 40-10, 80% overall. Good week last week. Now we got the games for this week. Woodlawn taking on Sanoma.
I picked Sanoma in this game. Sanoma's 4-2, 1-0 in district. They won 3 in a row, coming off of a 44-7 victory over McKinley. This is Marcus Randall is coach at Woodlawn now. They lost to Dutchtown 45-8 last week. Their only win is against Riverside. I saw Marcus Randall in the Cotton Bowl back in 2003, but Reggie Sims got 10 touchdowns on the year for Sanoma. Austin Boscom and Javon Aguilar both have 5 touchdowns and 400 yards receiving. Last week, Jordan Bennett and Evan Bourgeois each had interceptions. The defense for Sanoma only gave up 2 first downs and 45 total yards. McCade Fontenot and Reese Nelson are real big defensively on the line to put pressure on the quarterback. And Cole Poirier and Slade Zephyr are rotating at quarterback, and it's a good deal for Sanoma. It's an easy pick, Sanoma over Woodlawn.
All right, the 5-5A game of the week, Dutchtown going to East Ascension. Big one.
Okay, I'm just going to go out and pick EA right off the get-go. EA is 4-2, 0-1 in district, coming off of a 41-6 loss to number 2 Catholic. EA was ranked number 8 in 5A. The other losses to number 6 Houghton. They got wins over Zachary, Warren Easton, and St. Charles Catholic. All were ranked, and it came down to the wire. Whereas Dutchtown's undefeated 6-0, 1-0. They're coming off a 45-8 win over Woodlawn. Their big wins are against Covington and Rain, and they're even bigger after Covington beat St. Paul's last week and Rain beat Eunice. EA's won the last 3 games in this series. Last time Dutchtown won was 24-14 in 2015, but before that, Dutchtown had won a bunch of games in this series in a row when they had Eddie Lacey and Eric Reed and them. Stephen McBride's got 690 yards and 9 touchdowns for East Ascension. Last week, even Catholic couldn't stop him. He had 6 receptions for 145 yards and a touchdown. They got some defensive players back, Javon Carter, but Jarrell Boykins is real big for him on the defensive line. Jaron Esther and Cale Babin, defensive backs. Cameron Jones kind of struggled as the running game did, but Dutchtown has a stingy defense, and it's led by Jamal Jalla. He had an interception last week. Braden Fritchie's a quarterback. That defense is good with Jaron Blakes, Javion Hughes, Ryan Hung, Brett Latarlile, Logan Scott, and Justin Ague. Dylan Sampson has 875 yards and 11 touchdowns on the season. Had 150 last week and 2 touchdowns. Bladen Lewis, 51 yards and a touchdown. East Ascension is just a bigger team. They built more physical. They're bigger. They're stronger. I feel that Dutchtown hadn't been tested yet like they're going to be tested against EA, so I'm going to pick East Ascension.
All right, and then the game I'll be covering next week for ETEL, going to Donaldsonville, and they're going to be taking on St. James.
This is a big game, too. Like, these two teams go way back. It's a rivalry. St. James won the last 2 games pretty handily, and they beat Donaldsonville in the playoffs. They have a history of playing each other in the playoffs. Back in 1996, Jarvis Green got knocked out when he was at Donaldsonville by St. James in the semifinals, and in Donaldsonville's last big playoff run in the quarterfinals in 2007. It was St. James again with Luther Ambrose when Donaldsonville had Champagne Babin and Roy Sam when I worked at the Chief. I covered that. But Donaldsonville's won 5 in a row. They beat their only losses to a ranked Assumption team. They're coming off a big win, 12-7 over E.D. White. St. James is just a powerhouse right now. They rank number 1 in 3A, undefeated. Big wins over 5A Destrehan, 4A Assumption, 5A East St. John. Coach Valdez and Shamar Smith has got 600 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns, and then over 600 yards and 11 touchdowns passing. LaBeouf is the main running back. Alec Mahler had 2 field goals last week. The defense is led by Shavion Jones, Ja'Cory Esther, Brad Batiste, Tyler Stobb. Chaz Preston has 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Receiving for Donaldsonville, Dejon Harris had the interception that sealed the win against E.D. White. Travion Brown has 500 yards and 5 touchdowns passing. Defensively, it's Trayvon Dunn and Rashard Landry. And then Jacavius Tenner has 9 touchdowns on the season and 600 yards. Rushing, Raylan Johnson, 400 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. And Robert Kent had the touchdown on the punt return that produced the win against E.D. White. I'm picking St. James.
Yeah, they're a machine, and they beat Lutcher last week, and Lutcher's taking on Berwick this week.
Okay, I'm going to pick Lutcher. I'm going out on a limb on here. Lutcher had some tough losses to Amy, St. Charles Catholic, and Santa Monica. No real signature win. This could be that for them. I think Berwick beat last week Patterson 29-26. That might be a signature win for them. But I'm picking Lutcher here in this game. Makai Patterson, Jacoby Williams, Rashawn Starks. I'm picking Lutcher to bounce back.
All right, Ascension Catholic, they're going to take on Erath.
I'm going to pick Ascension Catholic in this game. They rank number 2 in 1A, coming off a 48-6 win over White Castle. Erath has some wins over Laurelville, Kaplan last week. But Jai Williams has 655 yards rushing and 13 touchdowns on the year, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns last week in their win over White Castle. And then Bryce Leonard's come along. Kai Prion, Brock Acosta had 2 touchdowns, one off an interception last week, Jamon Tapp. So I'm going with Ascension Catholic in this game.
Okay, Ascension Christian home game this week. They're taking on St. John.
Okay, this is a tough pick. Ascension Christian lost 3 in a row. This is their first district game since 2016. Zachary Diaz has 1,300 yards passing and 6 touchdowns. Nathan Bledsoe, 300 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns. Derek Varner, though, 500 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. And Brady Gayo, 6 touchdowns on the year. But St. John's coming off a 50-6 loss to East Iberville. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that Central Christian is going to win because it's at home.
All right, and LSU moving up to number 2, and they got the 2:30 start against Mississippi State.
Well, it was a big win over Florida. Joe Burrow is still in the Heisman talk. Ed Orgeron, 7 top 10 wins now. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire had 2 touchdowns rushing. Burrow, 293 yards, 7 yards short of another 300-yard game. 3 touchdowns passing. Jamar Chase, 2, and Justin Jefferson, 250 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Derek Stingley, the big interception. His grandfather was Daryl Stingley, the one that had got paralyzed by Jack Tatum. He's really come up as a true freshman, one of the top recruits. And Chasesaw had come up big on the defensive line, so I'm picking LSU easy over Mississippi State next week.
All right, the Saints, led by Teddy Bridgewater, still winning. They got probably his toughest match this season going against the Bears.
So Kamara's kind of dinged up right now. Teddy had 1 touchdown in a defensive battle with the Jaguars. It's going to be another one against the Bears. Chase Daniel, the former Saints backup, is backing up Mitch Trubisky, who's out, but the defense is led by Khalil Mack, and the Bears are known for their defense. I thought the Saints would go 3-3. Now I'm thinking maybe the Saints could go 6-0, so I'm picking the Saints to beat the Bears in another defensive tussle, and maybe Will Lutz will kick the winning field goal over Eddie Pinero, who's the guy they picked up after the clank last year. So
right, and we have one more 5A game to talk about. Not much of a matchup there, Catholic and McKinley.
I picked Catholic. They got big wins over U-High and St. Thomas More, and McKinley's just 1-5 on the year. Jackson Thomas, Parker, and Morgan are their big players.
Right. That one should be easy. And then one more game, White Castle taking on East Iberville.
So this is an interesting game. East Iberville is 5-0. I used to cover this game when I worked at the Post. Coach Ron Lejeune had used to be at East Iberville, and then I had kind of knew who he was when he worked at Plaquemine. But their defensive coordinator passed away suddenly over the summer. So East Iberville is playing lights out for him. And they used to take a whooping from White Castle, who's 3-3, 0-1 in the district. But I'm gonna say East Iberville is gonna win this.
We're here today at St. James High School to present our Player of the Week award. And our corporate sponsor for St. James High School Player of the Week is St. James Parish Hospital, and our plaque sponsor is St. James West Bank Clinic. Tyler Staub receives the award this week. Well, you had quite a game with some interceptions and lots of other stuff going on. Tell us about it.
Well, going into the game, we knew we were playing a physical opponent in Assumption. And so we prepared all week, and I was just in the right place at the right time to make plays.
And Assumption's undefeated was before you got there, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was a great game. We knew we had to bring the fight to them before they brought the fight to us, and we just came out on top.
Some of the other guys on defense made some interceptions as well, right?
Yes, sir. Everybody prepared equally. I believe we were focused, and we knew what to do at hand. So we knew what the task was, and we went out there and did it.
Well, Coach says they're throwing everything at you that they've got, but they hadn't figured it out yet, your opponents, so far this season.
Well, when they do, I mean, I hope they do, but I think they can't.
Well put. All right, that's our Player of the Week from St. James. Hello, we're here at Lutcher High School to present our Lutcher Player of the Week. And our corporate sponsor is St. James Parish Hospital. Our plaque sponsor is Lutcher Family Clinic. Well, this week the winner is Donald Fleming. Well, tell us about what kind of game you had and hopes for improvement.
The game I had is I just did my job. I just held my team and I helped the quarterback. I did my job, and we play as a unit that game. That's how I was able to get this award.
St. James Nursery in Gramercy is headquarters for your landscaping needs. They have plants, shrubs, trees, as well as palm trees. See Patrick or Denise Wagaspack or call 869-5254. The St. James Parish Hospital Clinics are proud to be the plaque sponsors for the Lutcher and St. James High School Player of the Week. The St. James Parish Hospital Clinics wish the Bulldogs and Wildcats good luck in 2019. Tara Lee's Florist has just what you need to make the occasion special. Call Tara Lee's for all of your flower needs. They even have custom colors to fit your style. Tara Lee's Florist, Gonzales, 931-7937. Sanama Muffler and Brake has been serving the Sanama area for many years doing exhaust work, brake, tune-ups, air conditioning, and general auto repair. Call Sanama Muffler for all of your repair needs. 644-2564. Waiting in long lines is over at Ralph's Pharmacy. They promise to make your experience fast and pleasant with great personal service, a low price guarantee, and convenient hours. Come see your neighborhood pharmacy, Ralph's Pharmacy. Looking for a new restaurant to take the family and friends? Try Fratelli's Restaurant in Prairieville. They have specialty pizza, Italian seafood dishes, baked pasta, chicken dishes, subs, and steaks, and more. Make it to Fratelli's in Prairieville.
And welcome back to Sports Scene Live. Jeff Porsche, and that will do it for our broadcast today. I'd like to thank Fratelli's Italian Grill for their hospitality and great food once again. I also like to thank the coaches, Guy Mistretta, David Oliver, and Darnell Lee for talking about their teams and their games and their upcoming games next week. Also, congratulations to the Players of the Week, and thanks a lot to Pete for Pete's Picks. We'll be back with another show next week. Hope to see you then. Have a good day.